Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster3, and yes, now it's finally time for the video I've been talking about in the past videos or so. So this is going to be the top 10 best movies that I've watched during the entire year of 2025, and obviously these are like movies that I've never seen before that I watched for the very first time. And before we get to the top 10 list, we are also going to talk a little bit about three honorable mentions as well that almost made the list, but there was just a little bit outside of the list. So yeah, and these are like in no particular order. These three. So I mean, I really like all three of these. So with no number, I just said that they were in no numbered order. I was already messed up. But anyway, the first movie that has that ends up on the honorable mentions list is the movie called Coco from 2017, and this is a Disney Pixar co-production, I guess. I mean, I'm not really sure. I know for a fact that Disney owns Pixar at this point, but I'm not really sure. I don't think this is considered like as one of those Disney classics or like under that label or whatever. But what I really liked about this film is the character development and the storyline in itself. And sometimes I'm not really a big fan of the whole like sing along type of music numbers and stuff in these movies in general. That's my biggest complaint when it comes to like newer like Disney movies in general. It just seems like they really need to shove in as many songs in there as possible. But in this way, I actually think it does make sense because music is kind of like a central part of the storyline, and that is the reason why this works so well, and that's the reason why the songs also work really well. So I mean, I don't really know what else to say about the movie itself. I mean, it's fairly well known. Most people have already seen this film, but if you haven't seen this film and you're kind of fed up with like some of these newer like movies in general, this is actually one of the really good ones that have come out like in later years or whatever. So, yeah, Coco, first honorable mention. And the next honorable mention is a movie which, I mean, this is really highly rated on IMDb as well. I think it's actually like in the top 250 list or whatever. But the movie I'm talking about is the movie called Whiplash with Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. And this movie is very interesting as well. It's basically about this drummer played by Miles Teller. He really wants to get into this band, and the guy who's like responsible to like the teacher basically is played by J.K. Simmons, and he is so extremely, I'm not really sure how to call him, like really harsh and really almost comes across like psychotic to a certain degree because he really pressures these poor people in this like group, and he kind of excludes people that he doesn't really like and people that he doesn't really think are performing very well. So like this weird dynamic between him and Miles Teller's character, which I thought was quite interesting, and it's to the point you really root for Miles Teller because you really despise J.K. Simmons, but J.K. Simmons does an amazing job in this one. I think this one actually did end up on top five of the month list as well. So, like, I think most of these are in those lists as well. So, but anyway, Whiplash. I don't really know what else to say about it, but it's a very unique and interesting film. And if you haven't seen it, give it a watch. My only complaint is that it's probably a little bit too long for its own good. But other than that, it's a great film. The ending is a little bit weird as well, but I mean, I totally get what they were trying to do with that. So, yeah, Whiplash. And the last honorable mention is a movie that I watched, I think, actually during the very beginning of the last year of 2025, and that's the not the last year, the beginning of the year, and that's the movie called The Way Way Back from 2013. And this is a very interesting sort of like the reason why I like this movie so much is because it has a very bittersweet, but at the same time, it's sort of like a feel good type of film. That's what I wanted to say. It's about this poor guy, this poor kid. He goes with his family to this on this vacation, and he doesn't go along with his parents or like his siblings or whatever. They just treat him really, really bad. So one day he decides to go to this water park, you could say, and kind of check out what that is all about. And then he befriends a person there, and then obviously he gets more and more friends during this stay right here. So he starts to work there actually without his family's knowledge because he feel like he really gets better treated at this water park among these like people than his actual family. So that's sort of like a really nice little interesting dynamic right there as well. I think the character development and the way the characters interact with one another, I think that was very fascinating and really cool as well. Uh, sad from time to time, but I think this is such an amazing feel good type of film. So if you haven't seen this one, give this one a watch. So yeah, the way back from 2013. And now finally we get to the top 10 list, and I can say this: among all of these films, I mean, all of these films, all of these 10 films, I've actually given a 10 out of 10. So I have next to nothing to complain about when it comes to some of these films. It's sort of like comes down to the fact as to which movie I can see myself rewatching, or any like rewatchability in general, even though I can say that all of these films are amazing. So yeah. So at number 10 we have the movie called The Killing Fields, which I did mention not too long ago. The war film, or I'm not really sure if you could even call it like a war film. It is a war film. It has lots of like action in it, but it's also focused on the characters very much. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I've talked a little bit about this one before, so I don't really feel the need to like go through the entire like storyline again. But very interesting film based on true events as well, or at least inspired by true events. Yeah, The Killing Fields at number 10. And at number 9 we have the movie from 1996 called No Way Home, by Buddy Giovannasso. I can never pronounce that guy's name, but he's the same guy who directed the trauma film Combat Shock. This one is not as bleak as that film, but it's still kind of a sad type of story, sort of like depressing from time to time. And Tim Roth does an amazing job in this one. He's sort of like this guy who comes out of jail and he tries to reconnect with his family, and shit goes bonkers basically. So great performances, great character development, great cinematography as well. Very sad story, but in some weird way it's sort of like a feel-good film as well. I mean, it's weird to say it's a feel-good film because it's really sad, but yeah, I really enjoy this one as well. So yeah, No Way Home at number 9. And at number 8, we have the movie by Michael Mann called Thief with James Caan. This is from 1981. And this is one film that I don't really hear anyone talk about at all. It's an amazing film, and if you haven't seen this one, you do go give it a watch. I would probably also say that I do prefer this one over what's that other film he made in the 90s? Heat, I believe. Maybe it's on par with that one. But I mean, if you haven't seen Thief, it's an amazing film. It's sort of like, once again, with these, this guy played by James Caan, he's really like corrupt and he's doing all these weird things. It's an amazing film. I don't know. It's the way I describe some of these films doesn't really make them sound that interesting, I guess. So, and obviously some of these films I don't really want to talk too much about each title because I don't want to spoil the experience for you guys. So, but anyway, if you haven't seen Thief, give it a watch. That's at number 8. And the number 7 is a movie which really surprised me. I didn't really expect to like this movie so much, but it's a movie called The Honeymoon Killers from 1970. And this is a very interesting film. It's basically about this couple, really unlikely couple. This obese girl and this sort of skinny guy kind of like hook up, and they become like get in like a relationship. And I just felt that was quite interesting as well. And the acting is great, and they are basically like criminals. It just gets worse and worse throughout this entire film. It has some almost like a weird, like dark humor to it as well, which I'm not really sure if that was intended or not. But I almost get like a weird John Waters feeling after watching this film. It has that type of style to it. Maybe not the style, but the whole storyline really reminded me of some of those like John Waters films. John Waters films. That's what I want to say. So if you're a fan of some of those films, I think this definitely will be something that you would enjoy as well. So yeah, The Honeymoon Killers, number 7. And at number 6, we have a movie which was really, really bashed on when it came out. And I don't really understand why. Maybe there's like something behind the scenes that I just didn't really read up on. So if any of you have any like suggestions as to what that is all about, please let me know in the comment section. But at number 6, we have the movie called Sound of Freedom. From 2023, which actually did much better than some of these superhero films that came out around the same time, which I thought was quite funny because for those of you who follow my channel for quite a while, I am not really a big fan of superhero movies at all. Mainly because it just seems like it's like a never-ending story as to in what type of order you're supposed to watch them. It almost feels like you need to have like some sort of map just in order to like, yeah, you have to watch Iron Man first, and then you have to watch Captain America, and then you have to watch this one like after that one, like the Avengers, and like I do not want to have. I mean, I don't want to have like a map in order to tell me in which order I'm supposed to watch these films. I mean, that's like why I don't really enjoy those superhero films in general. But anyway, that's for another discussion. But Sound of Freedom is basically a movie about. I think it's actually also based on true events as well. Surprisingly, maybe not surprising, but these type of things that are happening in this film happens for real every single day. It seems like it's basically about trafficking, about these poor people that get like kidnapped and they just get shoved into some of these really horrible situations in general. And one cop really takes this personally, and he just pretty much makes a deal with the father that I am going to find your daughter no matter what. I'm gonna do my best to do that, to like find her and rescue her from her captors. So um, very sad story, but still, I mean, this film's like a film that really needed to get made because it seems like this type of things were really happening all the time. So I mean, obviously, I'm not really a big fan of movies that has to have like some sort of statement to it. But in this way, I mean, who would even like defend like human traffickers? I mean, that's just really sad if you really do this, if you actually defend that type of actions in general. But Sound of Freedom, nonetheless, I think is an amazing film. I don't really know what the whole backlash is all about. But yeah, anyway, number six, Sound of Freedom. And then at number five, we have a movie which really reminded me a little bit of some of the old school Rocky films, because this is another one of those like boxing type of films, and it's the movie called Warrior from 2011. And I feel Warrior is a terrible title. I'm just going to be honest with that, but it's basically about this rivalry between these two brothers. One of them is played by Tom Hardy, and the other one is played by what's his name? What's the other guy's name? I completely black out on this one. Joel Egerton, I believe his name is. Yeah, I have to double check on that one. And they have sort of like a bad relationship with their father as well. They're like kind of like they don't really have that good communications with one another, and yeah, you could say it's like a family drama, but within the whole like boxing world, you could say. So I don't want to spoil anything else than that, but if you're a fan of some of those like Rocky films or what's that other film I watched not too long ago? It's a movie from the 80s. I completely Gene Hackman movie from whatever. I mean, if you do like the Rocky films, you probably would enjoy this one as well. Great performances all around, great cinematography as well. I mean, the storyline in itself sounds a little bit cliche for some people, I guess, but I really enjoy this one. And I've come to realize in my later years that I really do prefer some of those movies that treat the characters really well, more so like than having some like fancy special effects in general. So, I really wish we could get more of these type of films in the near future instead of just like CGI bullshit we get these days in general. I mean, on the whole scale. So, but anyway, Warrior at number five, and at number four we have a movie which, once again, this is a really feel good type of film. I don't really have any really big complaints about this film at all, but it's the movie called Indian Summer from 1993, and it's basically about this sort of like this reunion. It's about these grown adults that have grown up with each other. They go back to this camp where they were when they were kids. I'm not really sure how old they were supposed to be at that point, maybe like 10 or 11 years old. And then they have like this reunion, so they haven't seen each other for quite a while. So they kind of like get back to camp to like remember things that happened when they were kids. And there's some like tensions between like some people are falling in love with each other and whatnot. So sounds a little bit cliche and sounds a little bit boring for some of you probably, but the reason why I really enjoy this one is because it seems like the whole camp vibe. I used to really love that setting in general when it comes to any movie really, except for like some of those American camp, what's it called, American Pie band camp, or some of those are just really atrocious. But I think this one is really good because it really reminded me of my own time when I was like at camp, even though it's not really as similar as in the US as it is in Sweden. But it's some sort of weird nostalgic feeling to the whole thing, that like, oh, this was a great time, and they kind of like go back to this place just to remember, and they figure out it's run by the same guy, like the same hermit basically. So it's pretty much about to close down, I believe, and they kind of like have this last little like party there, you could say, or like this last get together. Um, Really emotional, really great performances all around. Once again, an amazing feel good film. I really look for some of those films in general from time to time. So yeah, Indian Summer at number four. And at number three, we have the movie called Where the Crawdads Sing, which is based on a book, I believe, which I haven't read, but um, this one is amazing. Once again, very character driven. About this poor girl that kind of like lives on the outside of this town, not on the outside, but she kind of lives in the swamp. And just because of that, and because of her like relatives, she's like sort of like deemed as this outsider, and no one really cares about her, and they treat her really really bad. And obviously this town is like really corrupt, so whenever she says something, they don't really believe her at all. So you could also say it's sort of like a weird courtroom drama type deal as well. So we get to like see her to grow up basically, and then we get to see her as an adult. And yeah, amazing film all together in general. Kind of sad from time to time as well, but yeah, I really enjoy this one. So yeah, Where the Crawdads Sing at number three. So then we come to number two, and number two is an animated, Japanese animated film, a movie called Your Name from 2016. And I was just so blown away by how incredibly well this one looks on. I mean, I only have it on DVD, but I mean, this style of the whole film, like how it was made, is just really amazing to me. Interesting characters, very interesting storyline as well. I mean, when I started to watch this film, I was like, well, this storyline is really strange and really weird. What are they thinking? What are they even going to do with this? But the longer into the film you get more and more invested in these characters, and you get more invested in the storyline as well. And I didn't really expect that when got to know what the whole thing was all about. I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it, but um, one of my only complaints about this entire film, even though I mean this is just a nitpick at this point, but I think it's a little bit too long for its own good. But other than that, it's an amazing film and very unique as well. Very unique storyline, which I don't really see in these type of films in general. So, yeah, Your Name at number two. And at number one, the best movie I watched all year last year. I mean, I can already see people complaining about that. I put this one at the number one spot, but sometimes it comes down to the fact that like, what movie I can see myself rewatching over and over again, and some of those films that I really feel me that really makes me feel good in general. Because I remember when I watched this film for the first time last year, I had a little bit of a rough time when it comes to like medical stuff, and like I was just really down on luck, and I had a really terrible day. And when I came out home, I just decided to watch this film, and this one just really, really made me happy again. I mean, it's really, really strange and really cheesy to say that. I know it sounds really stupid, but anyway, I'm just mumbling about something completely else here. But at number one, we have the movie called The Wizard from 1989. And this is one of those 80s films that I've always wanted to watch, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And then finally, I found it on Blu ray, and it's really cool and really amazing. And I think that that's another reason why I liked it so much, because it's basically about video games. And obviously, some people can say this looks dated, and this looks stupid, and this looks bad. But you have to acknowledge that this is actually from the late 80s, and obviously, graphics in video games have really improved throughout the years. But I always say this, that I do prefer the older games, not because I mean, obviously the graphics are not as good as the newer ones, but I always feel like the gameplay has to be better than the picture quality, or like the graphics, you could say. So, but anyway, this movie is, you could say the best way to describe this film is really, it seems like Rain Man, but instead it has to deal with video games and a kid basically. So they have all of these kid actors, and there's this family of three brothers. One is played by Christian Slater. He's actually probably the one that has the least screen time among the three, actually, surprisingly. But the male lead is played by Fred Savage. and he takes his brother to I think it's LA actually, where they have like this video game tournament, because he realizes his little brother has is amazing at video games, so he decides to take him there in order to win like some sort of unique and cool prize. Um, and obviously his brother comes across like a little bit weird, like a weirdo, because he never speaks, because he's really traumatized by an event that happened when he was younger. Um, but yeah, really fun film in general. So they're basically on this like road trip by themselves to get to LA basically, and along the way they get lots of trouble along the way, and they meet up with this other girl who's also on the run from her home, basically. So yeah, really cool film. I love the performances by all the actors, and sometimes when it comes to kid actors in movies, they can sort of like sometimes they can ruin the film, but I think all of the child actors in this film did an amazing job. And another funny thing about this one is, you for a small portion of the film, you can actually see Tobey Maguire in this film, and that was actually the very first film he appeared in, even though he's uncredited, I believe. So he plays like this like sidekick to one of the main like villains, you could say, or like this other guy, or like this other kid who's also really great at video games. But anyway, if this sounds like something you would enjoy, go give it a watch. I really, really adore this film, and just yeah, it's such an amazing feel good type of film in general. So, yeah, The Wizard at number one. So that's it. That's the top 10 of the year, to the top 10 best movies that I watched during the entire year of 2025 for the very first time, that is. And for the next video is obviously going to be the other side of the coin, which means I'm going to talk about the top 10 worst movies that I watched during 2025 for the first time. And damn, there's some really bad stinkers in there, so we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this particular video. Give it a thumbs up, leave it a comment or two. Have you seen any of these movies, and do you agree with me or you disagree with me? Please let me know. I'm always curious to hear about your opinions in general. And also, if you would like to follow me on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel in order to not miss out on any new upcoming videos. Anyway, hope everyone had a great new year. I think I probably said that in the previous video as well. But anyway, hope everyone had a great new year, and yeah, see you in the next video. Bye bye.